Hello YouTube, welcome back to No Stream Available, the worst channel on all of YouTube, guaranteed, where if you know, then you know. Now then, we're back, and I've had a bit of a funny turn, to be honest. I've got like loads of shit done, so, well, it's not shit, that we've got him done. We'll talk about him in a bit. Yeah. And primarily, though, we are back with Andy's Lake Manxman. Well, soon to be Andy's when I take it down to him. We'll talk about his microphone shortly. So, here she is. And didn't she do well? I mean, for an old radio, that has responded very well to treatment. That's turned into a nice, tidy little Lake Manxman. I mean, obviously there's the odd little mark here and there when you get close up, but you know, you're always going to get that. They're old radios, and so, you know, like we talked about before, we sorted a proper power lead out for it, and I put it on a connector. Just use the Tamiya connector. That's secure, safe, properly fused, tinned ends, nice wire. That's nice and safe. We've put it on a PMR bracket. Now then, we'll talk about that now. So, for its bracket, like I said, I did run out of sheet metal, and I haven't had a chance to pick any up. So what I've done is I've used a PMR bracket. There's a model of PMR radio that measures exactly the same dimensions, and so, do you know what? That'll do just nicely. It's a nice tidy bracket on some quality thumb screws, nice and sturdy. You know, there's no wrong with that. And you know, until I get, I might get a few more of these until I can get out and get some sheet metal. But yeah, you know, drill like we always do. Nice black crackle finish casings, nice and tidy. When it came, somebody had been in a bit of a pinch, and they'd put this channel selector on. Well, that's not original. God knows what that's from. Could it be off a Grandstand Gemini? You'll have to leave a commenting section below. And so the closest knob I could find here, they're going to be closest match to its original ones, was from an old President Grant that got broke for parts many moons ago. I think it might have been a French Grant or something that came in from France in terrible condition. Yeah, sometimes when you can't save them, it's quite sad. But yeah, there she is. Look, that has made a really pretty little radio. You know what I mean? And the story behind this radio is my dear old friend Andy. I said when he got married that I wanted to get him one of these as a wedding present. Well, at the time, these were like, they wanting silly money for them on eBay. You just didn't run to it, you know. So anyway, it's belated, but this is a wedding present, this radio, because Andy's father, who passed away recently, you know, God bless you, Mo. God bless Big Mo, Andy's dad. And the a Lake Manxman, back in the day, back in the 80s, during the 2781 boom, was the first radio that Andy ever had. Andy's dad, Big Mo, at the time was quite a big sideband guy and wanted to get his lad into hobby, and got him a radio like this. And that's what got Andy started in radio. And I always said I would find him one of these as a wedding present, and now I have, thanks to our dear old friend TV Steve. Because lo and behold, I rocks up at TB Steve's house recently, and what should he have there? A Lake Manxman. So a deal was struck, and here she is, looking all the better for it now. And yeah, quite a pretty radio, isn't it? That, you know, for a little Muppet bander. Really not a bad looking radio at all, and it all powers up and it works. All its pots are nice and fresh feeling, and channel changer nice and crisp. Everything, you know, that Grant knob. You know, I've seen worse things. So that will have to do till I can find a proper one for it. But that actually don't look that out of place, really. It's not an exact match, but you know what? It's not 1,000 miles away, is it? So it didn't come with a microphone. So what we did, generic mics are just generic mics, aren't they? So what I did, I ordered this off eBay. I think it came from Knights, good old Knights. I think Knights have put more microphones and more radios than Parson preached about, to be honest. So what was that? Intercall with a God knows that's a brand new mic for on it anyway. And what I will do is, when I've got some more time, I will letter that mic up so it says Lake on it, and then it's going to look like it's got its original mic then. I mean, obviously they're only original ones, aren't they? But you know, there is such a thing as a resto mod, recreation, reimagination, rejuvenation, all sorts of rations. So, you know, it's and that's where we are with that. So yeah, sitting pretty on its new bracket, new thumb screws, fresh casing screws, and yeah, looking good. It was a bit of a bugger to do, because there's like this tiny little raised swage line around its face, and there were nicks out of it and stuff. So you had to really were a real bugger to get everything back into shape it needed to be and stuff. It weren't a million miles away, as you'll see if you go back to part 1. It weren't a million miles away. It weren't the worst I've ever seen, but it wasn't what it needed to be, and now I think it is. So yeah, not bad. Pretty little radio, isn't it? You know what I mean? Pretty little radio, that. Not bad at all. So yeah, I'll get that mic lettered up, and then she'll be grand. She'll be absolutely grand. Didn't she do well? So yeah. And in other news, right now then, why have we got here a casing for an Icom 7610? Well, our friend Steve Sierra, different Steve, not that Steve, not the other Steve, but the other Steve after that Steve, the other Steve, Sierra Echo 67. Hello, Steve. Your casing's done, mate. Now, poor old Steve went to go and buy a 7610, and when they got it out for him, from Shack where it was sort of in, they weren't particularly kind to it, and they dragged it out by the scruff of its neck, basically, and it were all full of lines and scratches and stuff, and pitiful, really, what they did. So, you know, I don't understand why people just take such little care with such expensive equipment. It's madness, isn't it, really? And so this casing, a few days back, looked like it had been from Bosnia, and through Bosnia, sorry. And that's all crackle finished up, and, you know, pretty much indistinguishable from real Icom, to be honest. I think that'd stand up to inspection by anybody. Responded very well to treatment. Thankfully, no dings and dints. No dings and dints. Just wanted a all its scratches and stuff flatting out and making right again. So yeah, Steve, there you go, mate. Your casing's done. So yeah, isn't it a shame? You know, don't get me wrong. Now, Steve, sensible guy, good radio operator as well, cracking radio operator. You know, Steve is not the guy that did the damage to this. It was the people he bought the radio from. You know, and I can hand on heart tell you that when that goes back to Steve, it's going to have a much easier life than it did before. So yeah, but why don't people look after stuff? I just don't understand it. You know, especially in today's day and age where people are struggling. This this is expensive equipment. Hard come by, hard earned and stuff, and then people do stuff like that. Put SIG burns in it, or chop power cables off, or scratch things and that. And it's like, just don't get it. Just don't understand it. So, this is only a short one because it's pretty late here in Manchester, England, and so I've just put this together, and yeah, there she is. I think that's turned out really well. Look at that sort of chatoying effect that you get off the knobs against the the brushed alloy face and that, So yeah, just one more look at her. I really pleased with how that's turned out. Really pleased with that. And Andy, I hope you like it, mate. And I hope it brings back some good memories for you. And yeah, you enjoy. She works. She fires up, keys up, receives, does all that stuff. That's as much as I've tested it. So, but she looks absolutely lovely. Ooh, bloody lovely. Be seeing you. So we'll put Mike over there for a second, and just spin this round a bit more. So yeah, I'm labouring point. I know I am now, but I just looking at it, I just think that's made a really pretty little radio, that, isn't it? It's made a real pretty little radio. So, and on that note, I am going to bid you good night. So yes, that's good night from me, and good night from the Mogs, good night from the Thumb, and yeah, you know what to do. Drop a commenting section below, like and subscribe, do all that good stuff that's supposed to be good for a YouTube channel, or like for a proper YouTube channel, not this shit that I do, but do it anyway. You never know. And yeah, good night, Cleveland, wherever you are. Cheerio, YouTube.